Hello and welcome back to Yesterday's News. It's Series 2. We've been away for a little while and it's a brand new format. That little voice that you can hear is...
Louis Horne.
Louis Horne, king of jazz. London, Britain, Europe, the world's most prominent trumpet player, would you say?
Well, sort of thing. I mean, I don't like to think of myself as just a jazz trumpet player. I'm more like an entity.
Okay.
I cover a lot of spectrums. Trumpet is one of the things I do. Martial artist.
Yep.
It's probably just those two things, but...
And those are what encompass your
That's what
entity.
people think. I think when people see me, they think of... they see the trumpet... They see me as a kind of a legend that's still alive. Do you know?
Okay.
Do you know?
Like Muhammad Ali?
No, he's dead.
When he was alive.
I don't think people thought of him in the same way.
No.
Like, I think people see him as a legend. You know, like Beethoven.
Yeah.
Well, Beethoven only was appreciated after he died. Same with a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
But whereas people are starting to appreciate me now.
So you'd say you're better than Beethoven?
I'm not better than Beethoven, but I'm certainly not less than Beethoven.
Okay, I think I get it. Now, for people who don't know about you, and I mean, I can't imagine who that would be, but for people who don't know about you, want to
let me stop you there. A lot of people don't. That's the tragedy.
Really?
That's the sad thing. Like, because I should be really rich now, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Financially. Like, I'm rich musically because what I play is bebop. Do you know what bebop is?
It was bebop and rocksteady were Shredder's two accomplices in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh no, you don't know. Basically, bebop is an African American art form.
Yeah.
From the 60s. That's what I do. Continue.
So, you won a talent show, didn't you?
Is Wales talented?
Is Wales talented? Tell us a bit about that.
Basically, when I was I think it was 9 or 10. I can't remember exactly now, but basically, I went on I guess it was like the first version of like Simon Cowell did that X Factor thing. Well, this was like, I think it was first invented in Wales, and it was called Is Wales Talented?
Yeah. And
it was on all the Welsh channels, all the Welsh radio, TV.
It was on all of them?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And basically, I won that. Jetted to stardom. I had 2 years of like proper big time lifestyle. It's my phone. I got to leave it on because if gigs come.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And basically, I won that. Just had this lifestyle when I was like 9 or 10 that, God, only men would dream of. You know, I'm talking everything.
Well, I remember you telling me once that you were...
Yeah, because you came to Welsh, do you remember?
I did, yeah. So just a little recap. So how Louis and I know each other. Before we get to the history, because I know this is a history podcast.
It doesn't have to be, though, so it's kind of a boring subject.
I hear that, guys? There we go.
Why do you want to go backwards, you know? Go forward.
I think the beauty of history is you go backwards to learn about the future.
Next question. Move on.
So I met you at your house. You showed me your cats.
Yeah.
One of which, at the moment, I understand has a sexually transmitted disease. You told me on the way here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm upset about it, to be honest, but...
Yeah. Mainly because you can't sleep, not because of the cat.
Well, it's just like... I worry, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, she hasn't been in the toilet in, like, a day or something. I went to the vet yesterday. Pet's at home. And she just won't take the... I've got these tablets to give her. And put it in her food. She won't take them.
Right.
She hasn't had a piss for days.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. I mean, it's clearly very tough for you. But I mean, we'll move on.
Stressful, you know.
And what's her name?
Billy.
Best wishes to Billy. I hope she's relieved soon. We made a little film, didn't we, about the London jazz scene? We're still making it, which is how I met Louis.
Yeah.
And I realised he was clearly an intelligent guy, a man of the world.
Yeah.
Is that gig coming in?
It's just an update on the cat.
How is she?
She still hasn't been to the toilet.
Okay. Not really an update, is it?
Continue. I'm sorry.
So we were making this film. Now, obviously, you were famous when you were at school.
Yeah.
In Wales.
Yeah.
Did you learn about history at school?
I did go to some classes and I did GCSEs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got a F in GCSE.
Okay.
History never. I've always been one for going forward. Never really interested in me. I was much better at PE, physical education, because I was quite a good footballer. I mean, I'm very athletic, and I always have been. Like I used to play rugby, a touch rugby, not real rugby, because it was too risky because of my lips, because I'm a trot plane, So I just used to tag the hips,
Do lips often get injured?
Yeah, in rugby because of bad tackles.
On the lips?
Yeah, because like if it's easy to get, like if you get tackled, you get a shoulder into the lips or something, But yeah, I used to do a lot of that. Obviously, when I was in school, my main passion was playing trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to play in all the local brass bands, like Llandudrod brass band and Pwllheli brass band, all the main bands in the Swansea area. And because in South Wales, brass bands and rugby are the two big things,
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't play rugby, you tend to end up playing a brass instrument.
Yeah, I think so. If you don't do either, you may as well be dead.
Okay. And that's very much just because this is something I'm unaware of, which is why you're on the podcast.
Yeah, the tradition's gone now, mind. Times have changed in Wales. It's all more commercial now. People mixing music on computers and stuff.
Okay.
People don't play real instruments anymore. That's what I'm hopefully going to bring back. That's to do with your history podcast, isn't it? In history, people used to play real instruments.
Quite recent history, though, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if it was when you were at school, it's quite recently that happened.
Yeah, but if you think about it, 30 years is a long time in music, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Like music has got really bad very quickly, isn't it?
Do you think modern music's bad then?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
All modern music?
Like, how many people play like trumpets and violins anymore? They all just play computers, press buttons.
Very few, but
or they just play guitar in a band and they just like press a few strings.
That's true, but I certainly don't remember watching sort of music documentaries about the 1960s and the 70s and seeing many people playing trumpets and violins.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, you weren't around then, were you?
I wasn't, no, but I have seen the documentaries and things.
Oh, yeah, there are. If you look on, like, not Sky Arts, because they don't do much good stuff anymore, but,
yeah,
like, a lot of them, like, go on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check out some Lee Morgan.
This is going out on YouTube, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, so see that camera there? It's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, loads of people watching it.
I don't know about loads. Hopefully loads. That would be good.
Because that could help my career, couldn't it?
Certainly could.
Because I'm trying to build up more of a fan base, like, in a way to educate people, because at the moment, like, people are just used to, like, dumb stuff, innit? Do you know what I mean?
And yours is more highbrow.
Yeah. You've got to be very intelligent to listen to my music.
Well, you bought your assistant as
Mr.
well
Pug.
with you. Yeah, who's who at the moment actually is just off filming us. But your assistant, he sort of looks after the social media and stuff, doesn't he? So.
Well, not just that. I mean, he takes care of anything my job in life, okay, is to play the trumpet and entertain people. I'm a showman. Mm-hmm. I educate people. If you come to my gig, it's an education, I'm teaching you how to think about music.
Okay.
When you follow my improvising on the trumpet, I'm teaching you how... I'm just basically improving your brain.
Yeah.
Instead of, like, just going to see a DJ, everyone's like, oh, When you come to see me, you're improving yourself. And where was I going with that?
I suppose you were just saying that the reason that you've hired...
Mr. Pug.
Yeah, Mr. Pug. I mean, just...
yeah, he does everything else. Like, so all the menial tasks
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do. Like, coffee, he brushes my teeth, like... Yeah, he scrubs in the bath,
Does he?
Yeah, my back, not the front.
No, that's for you.
He scrubs in the back.
He's coming down later.
And
Mr. Pug, yeah.
he's coming down later.
Yeah.
So why do you think he was particularly suited to that job?
Well, he hasn't got much about him.
No.
He's not very intelligent.
No.
And he's happy doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he's happy just making me a cup of coffee. and that gives me a lot of satisfaction because I can give him something back to normal people. You know.
I've met him, and I would describe him as a simpleton. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. That probably is fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming down later.
Yeah.
Um,
He should be here, actually. He's a bit late. I'll dock his wages for that.
yeah, that's fine. You don't pay him much anyway, do you?
No.
No.
It's below minimum. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it. History. You have a connection to Welsh history, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us about your ancestral roots?
Well, it's very interesting, actually. My family, the Horne family, originates from an ancient Celtic tribal group.
Okay.
Called the Llanelli, the Llonyn, the Hachwetachwedd.
Okay.
And they were, back in the day, they used to slaughter the English. You know, because when Wales and England were at war,
yeah,
they used to absolutely slaughter them. When some people in my family were warriors of the highest, you know, like Braveheart in Scotland.
Yeah.
Well, in Wales, it's like Owain Glyndŵr, and
Yeah.
my family used to work with him, slaughter the English.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
We're talking about the middle of the 13th century, aren't we? When they're at
Oh,
war?
I don't know exact dates. All I know is that they did stuff.
Was Edward I the same king from?
Do not know who that is.
From well, he's Owen Glendower's sort of nemesis,
All
I
right.
suppose.
I don't know.
You're mainly focused on the Welsh side more than anything.
Well, I just care what my family did. That's all.
And was the trumpet playing something that happened then?
Well, of course, the trumpet is a military instrument, isn't it? Yeah.
For those of you listening at home, Louis is a bit he's a bit under the weather, and of course he's also somewhat emotional about the cat at the moment.
I'm fine now.
So
I'm fine now. Sorry about that earlier. It's just the first time I've spoken to someone about the cat, and you know, when you first speak about something that's been on your mind a lot,
it's painful. Yeah, it's very painful.
But basically, yeah, trumpet's always been like a military instrument. It's just to start off wars, isn't it? And funnily enough, I take that into my own performance. When I'm performing on stage, effectively, I'm going to war. I'm going to war on bad music.
Okay.
So when that first note comes out of my trumpet when I'm on the bandstand, it's like da 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 da. It's like, you know, I'm going to war on all terrible music.
And the audience, your troops.
No, I consider my band to be the troops.
Okay.
The audience are the commoners who I'm trying to educate.
Right. Okay.
Trying to bring them on into my dimension.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Dimension is a word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my favourite track that you do is Game of Thrones.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that's educating them?
I do have to dumb it down sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Louis Horne is, in order to engage with the general public, you have to dumb it down sometimes to bring them in, you know. Like, if you're trying to feed a child healthy food, you got to give them a Big Mac sometimes in order to, like, oh, come on, if you have this Big Mac, you can have some broccoli.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes I give them, like, I play the music to Game of Thrones and the Pink Panther. I give them that sometimes.
Yeah.
So that, like, oh, follow that, and then you can have some real music, some bebop, some Charlie Parker, you know?
So that's what you try and do with your music, is about...
I give them a little bit of a Big Mac, and then they have broccoli.
The carrot and the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like bringing them on.
I like
because they're like Game of Thrones, and then I can hit them with Charlie Parker.
And educate them like that.
Educate them, improve them.
I've got some information here about Owain Glyndŵr.
Yeah.
So, he's
not related to me, though.
But he worked with your family, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he apparently disappeared into the Welsh Highlands and the woods.
Hold on, I gotta get a picture of you.
I'm
quite enjoying this now. I feel a bit better. Hold on. Go on.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a myth
Yeah.
in Welsh folklore that one day he will rise again to free the Welsh from the English. Do you think that's possible?
No, because he's dead.
Okay, so you don't think that his spirit will come back?
No.
Because also apparently King Arthur was a Welshman.
Was he?
Yeah?
Why is he called Arthur then?
I've got no idea. What's the
Having
Welsh...
said that, there is in Wales there is a furniture store called Arthur Llewellyn Jenkins.
So that might be it?
No, but what I'm saying is Arthur might be a Welsh name.
Yeah, it could well be.
So, yeah. So what, King Arthur's Welsh?
King Arthur's Welsh?
But in the film, though, with Charlie Hunnam, he doesn't sound Welsh in
Sort
that.
of from the East End, isn't he?
Yeah, so... Yeah.
They might have taken some liberties, though, with the actual... Well, I mean, it's not true anyway, because he's a myth. He's not a real historical...
Why'd you bring it up?
Because I thought you'd be interested as a...
Oh, no, I wasn't interested.
Oh, you weren't? Okay, sorry, that's my mistake. Let's look at some laws.
Yeah.
Some outdated laws. Okay, so, did you know, for example, that Welshmen are prohibited from entering Chester before the sun rises?
Oh, because the arrow, they can shoot an arrow at them, innit?
This is it, and have to leave before the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And on a Sunday, you're allowed to shoot a Welshman if you find him inside the city walls, it's after midnight, and you're using a crossbow.
I don't think that's true, though, because I know I've heard this before, but surely loads of English people would have done it for a laugh. And I never read any stories about it.
That's quite specific, though, isn't it? Because you'd have to find a crossbow, be there at midnight on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But apparently that's
Yeah,
still
but it's
true.
not that hard. It's worth doing for that gag, isn't it? Like, that's not that hard to do.
Well, I mean, the person that you did it to would be dead afterwards,
Yeah.
which would be a slight problem.
Yeah, but it's legal, isn't it?
It is technically legal. I don't know if the defence would hold up in court.
Well, if it's legal.
Can I ask you, so, Welsh history, who do you
Or
consider...
wistery, I call it.
Wistery.
Because you put W on the front of... That's what I do with a lot of words.
Okay.
If you put them together, you confuse them, you know?
Oh, this is your assistant, I think, has just arrived.
Mr. Pug.
Hello, mate, you're right.
Hey, can you get me some water, please? Do they do coffee here?
So,
Thanks.
so Louis' assistant is just handing him a glass of water
They do coffee here.
and sitting down as well.
Do you get in all right? You're a bit late, you are.
It happens, doesn't it? So there he is. There's your assistant. How long have you been?
Oh, it's nice water. Is this tap water?
I think it might be Evian.
You can tell.
How long have you been working together?
Well, not working together. I employ him.
Yeah. Okay. So there's no friendship involved.
I'm close to my employees, yeah. Yeah.
How many other employees
I look
have you
after them. It's Mr. Pug and Gino Fagiano, kind of Seth Jackson as well. Although I only physically pay Mr. Pug.
Mr. Pug's just struggling with some water there. You only pay Mr. Pug. Gino, let's talk about Gino.
Yeah.
Because Gino's your manager. Where's he today?
To be honest, he's keeping a low profile since the whole Brexit thing.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't got all his forms sorted because he wants to stay here.
Right.
He's met a girl in Britain.
Okay.
So he doesn't really want to go back to Italy. So he's kind of keeping a low profile. I shouldn't say this on air, but... Hey. Just chill out a second,
Down.
yeah?
Down.
Basically, yeah, he's not... he should be here, but he's keeping a low profile. Well, you came last time, didn't you? You know where he is, didn't you, in my attic?
Yeah, well, I met him. He has a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
In the attic, yeah.
He's happy, though. He's happy up there. He gets fed, he gets watered. Yeah, he's happy, yeah.
And you two, I mean, he wants to, like he said, I think his phrase was shoot to the stars. That was what he wanted to do. Do you think he's achieving that?
Chill out a sec, yeah. Mr. Pug, just chill out a sec. Just don't do anything, just sit there. Basically, I'm not that happy with what he's done so far. That's why I've got Seth Jackson on board. Now, Seth Jackson is unofficially my proper manager now. He's from Arizona, and that's in America. And he's kind of, I think I got more chance of having a great career with him. He's more on the ball, you know.
He's also a weapons enthusiast, isn't he?
As am I. As am I. To be honest, you know what I'm going to do if I ever get like really rich off my fame, which I should, no reason why I shouldn't, is I'd like to start building up an arms kind of, building up a weapon. Is it? What do you collect stuff? What do you call
An
it?
arsenal.
An arsenal. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to do that.
Okay.
Because then if there is a nuclear war, I'm just like sorted then.
In some sort of Mad Max scenario,
Yeah.
you would. Yeah, I mean, you would be victorious.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favourite? What would be your weapon of choice? Say it's the Hunger Games, right? Let me give you a scenario.
Yeah. Let me stop you there. I can tell you now it's crossbow.
A crossbow.
Yeah.
Okay. Why the crossbow?
Lots of things. A lot of my favourite characters have a crossbow. Have you seen The Walking Dead?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
The one with the crossbow. He's my favourite character in that.
Okay.
Also, you know Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
I do.
Christian Slater, who plays
Yeah.
Will,
Yep.
the character. He has a crossbow in that.
Okay. There's something about the crossbow, right? Let me tell you something. So, the crossbow takes 6 times longer to load than a bow and arrow.
Chill. Chill.
So, if I was to have a bow and arrow, I could get 6 arrows off by the time you'd reloaded your crossbow. Do you not think that's a flaw?
I wouldn't be thinking like that.
You wouldn't be thinking like that?
No.
You just want the accuracy and the power of
I just
the
like the
crossbow.
concept of having a crossbow.
Okay. So you and Seth are working together.
Yeah.
Is your idea to get to America?
Yeah. He's promised me that.
Okay.
He's been sent over here as a kind of to look for the next big thing. The problem with Britain is like it's hard to get a lot of money out of jazz here. It's just not a big business. Whereas if I get to America, I get into like Hollywood and stuff as well. You know,
as an actor.
Well, just as me.
Okay.
Like just as me, the man with the torn. You know. Because in the old days they used to do that, of course. Like you see all these Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. They started off as singers, didn't they?
Yeah.
Went into films. I want to be like go over there, jazz bebop star. I don't mind like because a lot of people like jazz musicians are crossing with hip hop now to be successful, aren't they? I don't mind doing that if it brings me the big fame.
Would you do a hip hop collaboration?
If there was a lot of money involved.
Okay.
A lot of money. Like I'm talking like enough money so I could go and buy a villa in LA over the hills. That kind of money.
Wow. Okay. I mean that's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, but that's what I would need if I was going to do a hip hop album.
So what about UK grime? Is a very big thing.
I don't know what that is.
So grime is the UK's equivalent to hip hop. I suppose the difference is that the tracks that they put underneath tend to be 148 BPM.
Right. It sounds awful.
I mean, it's good. It's probably the biggest music form in Britain at the moment.
Well, that's not a compliment, is it?
Would you consider working with a grime artist?
Again, I'd have to be paid so much money.
Okay. Would you ever do anything just for the artistic integrity?
Well, that's what I'm doing now, isn't it? My music is purely artistic.
And you prefer the idea of...
Yeah, well, I don't get paid enough money, do I? Like, basically, I do the highest art form, and I get paid peanuts.
Yeah.
That's the injustice of it.
Yeah.
Do you know?
And you consider jazz to be the highest art form?
And classical music. Okay. But the highest art form in the last 100 years.
Is jazz?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would you like to work with?
Dead or alive.
Should we say alive?
Wynton Marsalis.
Okay.
He's a jazz. Do you know who he is?
I don't.
God, you're a bit dumb, aren't you? Basically, he's a New York jazz trumpet player.
Right.
I'd love to work with him.
Okay. 2 trumpet players.
Tom Harrell. He's a great trumpet player as well from New York.
Anyone you'd like to work with who doesn't play the trumpet?
I'd like to work with a classical orchestra, like Louis Horne with the LSO Orchestra, conducted by Sir Simon Rattle.
Yeah.
And I'd play like the hits of Lee Morgan. Do you know who Lee Morgan is?
I don't know who Lee Morgan is.
So dumb. Lee Morgan is a hard bop trumpet player.
Okay.
Yeah, from the 60s. That's history, isn't it?
That is a bit of history, yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd like to work with them. Let's talk about moving forward.
Yeah.
Because you like to look forward.
Yeah, well, I only look forward. Except in my music, I do look back with the view of going forward, like all art should be. You can't go forward. Like all these artists these days, they don't study the history, do they? They just, it's the same in painting and everything. Like I went to the Tate the other day, and there's all these, like, it looks like a baby's thrown up over the stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you want real art, you go to the National Gallery, don't you? See some Degas. You know.
But that's interesting because you said
Hey, Mr. Pug, seriously, chill.
Mr. Pug's just checking his Instagram.
Yeah, well, it's not the time. Just chill, yeah, and do something about some coffee for me, yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Pug.
Do you want a coffee as well?
I'm all right, thank you. No,
You get you one.
No. He's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Pug. He's gone now. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite quiet, but
that's what I like about him. He's doesn't like it annoys me about humans. They talk a lot. That's why I like my cats. They don't talk. They're just like dogs annoy me a bit, to be honest, because they bark.
Yeah. You think a cat's a perfect animal for you?
Yeah, because they don't. They go meow, but it's like it's very and it's like. Oh, hold on, who's this?
It's for those listening at home. That's Louis' phone going.
No, I don't need to take that.
Who was it?
Nobody.
Not an important gig coming in.
No.
Moving forward, what's next for Louis Horne?
Good question. Well, this year, 2018 coming up, I'd like to record an album with strings. Mm-hmm. Charlie Parker did that. Clifford Brown did that. Do you know what they are?
I know Charlie Parker.
Do you know Clifford Brown?
I don't.
Well, basically, I'd like to do an album with strings, just me trumpet, doing maybe tunes to the American Songbook and some of my originals.
Okay.
Yeah. I've written some cool originals like that I've actually based on my Welsh heritage.
Yeah.
One of them's called Llanhollen, and the other one is called Pensligal Honna. And basically, they would work so well with strings that I'd really like to arrange them and do that with strings, you know?
Okay. And we're coming back actually to do the well, not the second half, but we sort of filmed some stuff with you before, and we're going to do.
What do you mean?
When you and I met?
What, today?
No, this is being filmed, but you and I filmed together before.
In my house.
In your house?
Yeah.
Yep. So we're coming back, and hopefully in January we're going to film like a proper documentary
about me.
About you.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Why?
So, because you're an interesting guy. You're an interesting insight into London's jazz world.
Oh, thanks.
One of the things we touch on.
Do you think I'm interesting?
Yeah. Fascinating. One of the things that we touch on is the violence of the jazz industry. Yeah,
it's a problem which I embrace because I'm a fighter.
Yeah,
I've trained a lot in it. You know.
Well, last time I saw you, you'd been in a fight with another trumpet
player.
It's
on Black Eye, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, the London jazz scene, you got to be able to handle yourself physically. Mm-hmm. There's people, they see jazz, they see the artist on stage, they don't see what goes on behind when people are off stage. You know, there's a lot of hustling going on for gigs. There's a lot of bands beating up other bands. Only the other day, Pedro Gaffini, who's a Portuguese saxophone player, he got his fingers cut off in a street brawl because one of the gigs in the Dolphin pub that was basically he got bullied out of that gig, and then when the other band came to do the gig, the Marcus Tofi trio, they waited for him after the gig and they cut his fingers off.
So he can't play.
Oh, he's finished now. That's why you got to be able to handle yourself. That's why I want to carry a gun, and that's why I do martial arts.
Did he tell the police?
The police, they let the jazz stuff go. It's all controlled by the jazz mafia.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
The Jaffia.
I wouldn't talk about it.
We can't talk about it.
Well,
will you be or myself in physical danger?
But like this, you're all right because you're with me. I've got a rep. You know, like in the streets of Soho. Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of altercations. Sometimes I haven't come out well, but I can handle myself, you know. I've caused some damage. Put it like this, there's a few guitarists, they won't play again.
Have you ever killed a man?
I don't think I'll answer that one.
Louis Horne, thank you for coming on yesterday's news. Thank you for joining us. Is that it? That's the end of the show.
What, all of it?
That's all of it.
Who do I invoice for this?
If you speak to Mr. Pug, then he'll speak to me.
Okay.
And then we'll sort it out that way.
Okay. What's your name again?
I'm Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it actually. I didn't think I would. It's a terrible idea, a history podcast, but
Yeah,
it's actually been quite enjoyable chatting.
We didn't talk about much history.
Yeah.
So that was the beauty.
It feels like a therapy session. Do
Well,
people
good.
actually listen to this show?
Yeah, people listen.
Really?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? There's much better stuff to listen to.
They've got nothing better to do.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of commuting, isn't there? You got to fill up those hours.
Yeah, but
or
there's
something.
much better podcast than this one, isn't there?
I think people listen to it to fall asleep.
Uh,
But now you're on. Hopefully that might
well,
change.
yeah, actually, I've done you a big favour, actually, haven't I?
We need to follow you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. How do we do that?
Oh, you have to ask Mr. Pug. I don't know how to do that.
Okay. So
Can you announce at the end that Mr. Pug will tell you?
Okay.
I don't do any of that stuff. It's beneath me.
Perfect. So we'll post all of that up on Instagram. Thank you very much for listening to yesterday's news, and we will see you next week when we're with Joe Clark for a North Eastern special.
Thank you, everyone.